You're probably familiar with these multiplication tables. Think of doing detentions or tables as paying interest on a late payment that you made. The bank is just taking more of your money, but in this case, the interest you're paying is time. So don't be late to class and don't waste any more time on doing detentions.
All right, so I'm excited to introduce you guys 7.5, the data conversation project. It's a mini project, so you can make a copy of these slides. Feel free to, if you want to use Canva or something else to dress it up, but it's just probably just easy to do a template. I try to make the colors yellow for you to change things, so go ahead and change your name there. Some other things in here we already talked about, and you already put it into your Google form from previously, is to write out 3 potential people you're going to interview. What's their name and what's their role? Remember, it has to be someone outside of Savannah. So it can't be a teacher, it can't be a counselor, it can't be your friend. And the reason why I want you to have 3 people is just in case something happens, right? I've heard many of times, oh shoot, Mr. Ring, I have to redo it. They canceled on me and they couldn't do it. So I want you to have people in mind before it's too late. And then you're going to fill out the sentence. I've decided to interview, like for me, I interviewed Cheryl on last date was September 12th, 2005 at, even I messed up. She was like, I'm ready. And then I was like, oh, shoot, class starts at 11, or middle class was 11, not 10. And then how are you going to do that? You can do it in person. It's okay. You can do it over the phone. And now you can use video chats. If necessary, maybe your interview gets cut short or something like that, then you can go ahead and change the time there as well. Okay. On the next couple of slides, there's a bunch of questions. You should do minimum is the SMART questions. Which one? The SMART questions, specific, measurable, action-oriented, relevant, and time-bound. You just fill them out and you can ask these questions of the person. So maybe there's specific questions you want to know. I really wanted to know about insurance fraud. I want to know who people say, oh, I tripped in the parking lot of the school, and then you see me like playing basketball, dunking on people, right? Yeah, that's why I asked that question. So there's a bunch of questions in here, and I would say, you might not need to ask all of them in your interview, and we'll talk about time limits and things like that. Some of you guys are interested in. Like, for example, maybe in Cheryl's, she doesn't have dashboards. So that's a question you can move on from, right? They may not be able to show you anything, and that's okay. Like they say, hey, do you guys have any visuals I can take a look at? And like Cheryl said, no, my company's private. They won't let you share data, which is totally fine, okay? So this video link here is the video link of your actual conversation, okay? I want to see it, okay? I've had multiple people said, hey, so-and-so, my aunt, my dad does not want to be on video. That's okay. So literally it'll be cut off. Like we just see you sitting in the chair and you're talking to someone. Of course you wouldn't fake it and talk to the wall. We should actually hear the voice coming back. It's just that some people feel uncomfortable. You're going to fill out a 5 C's reflection. So if you fill out this Google form, it should send you now. It used to send you a PDF. They told me now it's a Google document, and then you can insert the link to your capstone reflection here. And this is due September 30th. So not tomorrow. From tomorrow, you have how many weeks? 2 weeks. Okay. I did a couple of resources here. Number 1 is an example. The student from last year, these are example of her slides. Of course, it's going to be different than yours and how she made it. You can see the types of questions she asked. After school, was it Friday? Thursday? Someone say, hey, Mr. Ring, can you show me how to do set up the Google Calendar again? So this is how you can watch it later. That's how I set it up for Cheryl. I did it with Khan actually. And basically what happens is not only does it notify them, it gives them an update like, hey, we're about to, 10 more minutes, but it also records it for you and creates a transcript. So you can watch that. And if you want to know, I think there's a scoring rubric. And probably the last one I want to show. In course 2, module 1, we learned about asking, not the bad questions are yes or no. Right? The better questions give you more insight. So you have to learn of that skill. And I have down here any cadence This was from 2023. Back then I didn't have slides like a template for students. So if you want to be like old school and you can actually ask me afterwards, you want a physical piece of paper to walk away with. This is what it looked like a couple of years ago. And what's a little bit different about this one is it has some examples of smart questions for each kind of like category. Does that make sense? So here are some smart questions for a small business owner. Here are smart questions for maybe your aunt's a teacher. You can ask these type of smart questions. So these are just to give you some examples so you can take a look at that.
I had to divide to get it right. I'm really playing chess. I use my knight, can't fall behind. I got it right, don't sleep in class. A1 pass, I use my formula sheet, cause I don't cheat. I use it on my test. I'm feeling blessed, rose for a Christ. You gotta come, remember in class, we don't chew gum. Get off your phone and pay attention. Not to mention, you're your detention.